The standout moments that I had weren't planned, they weren't rehearsed, but I was keenly aware of what was going on around me. And because I had prepared, I felt prepared and unafraid to say what the moment seemed to call for.
Former Republican presidential candidate Carly Fiorina knows the importance of standing out on a crowded debate stage. She took on 16 other GOP candidates in 2016, and some memorable debate moments helped give her candidacy a temporary boost.
Margaret Thatcher once said, "If you want something talked about, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman." Like Mrs. Clinton, I too have traveled hundreds of thousands of miles around the globe. But unlike Mrs. Clinton, I know that flying is an activity. It is not an accomplishment.
Now, many Democrats running in the packed 2020 primary field find themselves in a similar spot to where Fiorina was, each hoping to have their own shining moment.
You know, I think everyone's different, but for me, the way I prepared for those debates, I didn't go in saying, I have to have a breakout moment. Instead, what I would do is be educated about the issues, obviously. Secondly, I would have some key things that I wanted to convey, things that I thought were important for the nation or important for people to understand about me or important distinctions between how I would address a policy and others. And then, after I felt thoroughly prepared, I let all of that go and I was just in the moment. People are surprised to know that I never had a canned line planned.
One of the most famous moments from the GOP debates? Fiorina's response to Donald Trump's remarks about her personal appearance.
I do want to ask you about this. In an interview last week in Rolling Stone magazine, Donald Trump said the following about you, quote, "Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that, the face of our next president?" Mr. Trump later said he was talking about your persona, not your appearance. Please feel free to respond what you think about his persona.
You know, it's interesting to me, Mr. Trump said that he heard Mr. Bush very clearly and what Mr. Bush said. I think women all over this country heard very clearly what Mr. Trump said.
Is that something that you knew you were going to say going in, or was that one of those unplanned moments?
I did not know I was going to say that. I knew I would be asked to comment in some way about his remarks because it was such huge news at the time. But I didn't know exactly what I was going to say, although I knew the thought behind whatever I said was what I just expressed to you. Your opinion of my appearance is irrelevant, it's inappropriate, it has no place in this contest, and I'm not going to be drawn into that conversation. How I said it was of the moment.
Fiorina says as the only female GOP candidate in 2016, her appearance was often the subject of more scrutiny than her ideas were.
Well, gee, after the last debate, I was told that I didn't smile enough.
That's something she warned women running in 2020 to be conscious of.
People would comment after my debate performances, not necessarily always on my standout moments or on my policy prescriptions, but wonder what kind of shoes I was wearing, or comment on my outfit, or comment on my hair. There's an incredible amount of commentary that goes on around women about our appearance, our style. Are we too tough? Are we too soft? And that's different for men. And so women have to be aware of that and break through all of that.
Fiorina's debate performances helped earn her a significant spike in the polls, from 3% to 15%. But after disappointing results in the Iowa caucuses and New Hampshire primary, she suspended her campaign. She then briefly joined Senator Ted Cruz's campaign as his vice presidential candidate before the Texas senator ended his run. But throughout the highs and lows of a campaign, Fiorina says the most important thing a candidate can be is genuine.
You are who you are. Be who you are. And people will recognize, I think, that authenticity, whether they're prepared to vote for you or not.